What up? What up? What up, you guys? It's Blackwing 2040. Welcome back to another Dekaranger review. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing two Dekaranger movies: the summer movie called Dekaranger Full Blast Action, and the team up movie Dekaranger versus Abaranger. Now, this is just basically going to be like both of these together. I'm saving the 10 years after movie for a review within itself because I feel that deserves its own video, and that's a 10th anniversary film. So it only seems about right, in my opinion. So let's get this review started. Starting off with the first movie, Dekaranger Full Blast Action. Now, this movie came out in the summer of 2004. And for those who are not in the loop or not aware, Sentai has this tradition of releasing summer movies with the current airing show during the summer. So this has been a common going tradition since Galranger. You have the main show, and then you have a summer movie that comes out during the summer, and then of course you have a team up movie later on in the year, and main show ends, go on to the new show, same rinse and repeat. So this goes on. This has been going on since Galranger, and of course in the past before Galranger, there have been some Super Sentai shows that do get like movies in between, but some of those are kind of like, chopped up, shortened versions of their episodes put together to make, one long movie. So in this case, with the movie Dekaranger Full Blast Action, this movie is directed by Katsuya Watanabe. And a common trope for you guys who don't know about Super Sentai movies, these morely focus on the main five rangers of the team. This is kind of a nitpick that I have with some of the Sentai summer movies because the six rangers basically get a very short amount of screen time. They all show up in the beginning of the movie, but by the time for the main duration of the film, the six rangers disappear and they don't show back up until probably the climatic battle at the end of the movie. So that's just a common nitpick that I have. Also, with summer Sentai movies, you get an exclusive Megazord formation for the Megazord. And of course, it's made to do that to sell more toys. And also, you get an exclusive villain for the movie. These movies technically, sometimes they take place outside of the main show. Some movies connect within the main show's continuity, some of them don't because they're just one-offs. You don't really see these characters, these main movie villains, ever again. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. So with this movie, Dekaranger Full Blast Action, I should just say Full Blast Action, we get an exclusive ranger called Deca Gold. Her real name is Marigold, and she is from the planet Leslie. She's fighting off a group of alienizers known as the Gas Drinkers. And funny enough, the cool thing about these enemies are, one, their names are based off of alcoholic beverages like vodka, whiskey, brandy. It's very good play on words. And on top of that, these villains are played by past actors who played villains in past Super Sentai shows. You have one actress who's been in Live Man and Die Ranger, one actor who played in Kaku Ranger, one actor who played in also Live Man. I love it when Sentai actors, come back to do, even as just one role. It's always epic to see these characters come back. Now, the cool thing is about this movie, the action is so dope. With these summer movies, they're a bigger budget to the main TV show. Of course, you have your fair share of Monster of the Week, the same rinse and repeat tradition. You fight the monster, team gets defeated, go back to base trying to find a different way to defeat the monster, and then they defeat the monster, day is saved. With these, you get a much bigger budget, you get a bigger scope of cinematography, a different location usage, especially with the final battle in this movie. It is so good. But I'm jumping ahead of myself. So basically, the main plot of this movie is the gas drinkers are turning all the civilians of planet Leslie into robots with this gold dust. It's kind of like a gold flower dust. And when people breathe it in, they get turned into machines. So Marigold, aka Deca Gold, she goes in undercover, but the thing is, she kind of makes a deal with the gas drinkers, but in the end, she gets poisoned. So the Dekaranger team goes in to save the day, and that's basically the main gist of the movie. But all in all, I could say the action within this movie is top notch. One of my favorite scenes, I have a few favorite scenes in this movie, where Bond is fighting the main villain, the leader of the gas drinkers, he goes full on with his dual magnums, shooting in a ultimate shoot off battle, and the bullets are just colliding with each other, and they're up close and personal. It is such a beautifully shot battle. Another epic shot in this movie is that Doggy Kruger comes in on a helicopter and he uses his D Sword Vega as a shotgun. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? I don't know what this is, but I love it. It is amazing. Just that main fight scene alone just makes it one of my favorite moments. Now, I could also say with the Megazord battle where Dekaranger Robo gets a new form with a new Zord called the Blast Buggy. It comes with a minigun and a blaster shield where you can has a little dagger where you could place onto the ground and just use it as a shield. That's a cool design, if I might say. But again, these are just one little, one-off forms that you don't really ever see again. And like I said, they're mainly used to sell toys. But all in all, I can definitely say Dekaranger Full Blast Action is a super dope movie. If you guys love Dekaranger and you love, the epicness of Dekaranger, this movie definitely fits in there as one of their best moments. It's so cool. All right, so now time to talk about the team-up movie Dekaranger versus Abaranger. And honestly, I've watched this team up many, many times, but all in all, I can say it's okay. It's not good. It's not that bad. It's very in between. But let me state my reasonings for this movie. So usually with Super Sentai team up movies, you have the current team and their predecessor team up together. Sometimes when they put verses in the title, it's because sometimes both teams may conflict with each other with the way how they do things, with the way how they get the job done. It's very, tedious things that they put the verses in the title for. But in this case, with this movie, this takes place, of course, for the Abarangers right after their show ends. And their interactions with the Dekarangers, it's very minimal. You don't really see them interact with each other that much, especially as a full, complete, cohesive team. Not until like the very end for the team up battle. Literally, right in the beginning of the movie, both Ranger teams are fighting each other over a misunderstanding because the Abarangers are looking for a specific villain that he can basically shapeshift into anything, any animal or inanimate object. And the Dekarangers just arrest the Abarangers just because of destruction of property. Again, a misunderstanding. But more of the reasons why there's a conflict between both of the teams, especially with Bon, Deca Red, and Ryuga, Abba Red, is because the Dekarangers feel that the Abarangers are very, amateur and very sluggish with how the way they do things. Because with the Dekarangers, they're more professionals with their job because they're cops. But the Abarangers, they're, they're your regular traditional heroes. They're not, they're not like your average, like policemen or firemen that do day-to-day things that morph just like the Dekarangers do. So Abarangers have a way of doing things. The Dekarangers have their way of doing things. And that's basically most of the gist of it. But one thing I can definitely say is that there are some instances where the team ups within this movie is pretty solid because you have moments where like Bond would team up with Abba Red, and how these team ups would work. The Reds will always team up together, and everybody else, you would have the girls team up together and the other male colors team up together. In this case, you had blue and green team up with Abare Blue. You had Abare Yellow team up with Deca Yellow and Pink. And for Deca Break, of course, Deca Break teamed up with Abare Blue because Abare Killer, he got killed off at the end of Abaranger. Spoilers. But he does come back. He makes an appearance. And, of course, he also does team up with Deca Break as well. But, again, it's just there's some moments in this movie where it's all right. But, again, there's not that much interaction, especially with, between the two teams. They start to warm up to each other. But by then, it's already too late because they were at each other's necks for, like, half of the movie already. But, of course, with the team-ups and the team-up pension, it's beautiful to see when you see both teams do a group morph together. I always find that pretty dope. But all in all, the movie itself, it's pretty mid. That's if I were to give a rating for Dekaranger versus Abaranger, it's very, very mid. But I would definitely say, give it a watch. If you like it, more power to you. If you don't, that's okay. Not everything in Tokusatsu is perfect. I also forgot to mention my rating for Dekaranger Full Blast Action. That movie is raw as hell. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So Full Blast Action gets a raw rating, and Dekaranger versus Abaranger is pretty mid. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much my review for both of these movies. It's very short and simple. It's to the point. These are Sentai movies. There's not that much to really talk about with these movies. But if you enjoy watching them, if you've seen them, let me know in the comment section below. Tell me what you think. And stay tuned for the next review video, which is going to be Dekaranger 10 years after. That's going to be covering the 10th anniversary of Dekaranger. That movie came out in 2015. You have all 6 Rangers return, as well as the supporting cast with Doggy and Swan. It was a really beautiful movie. I'm looking forward to rewatching it and telling my thoughts about it to you guys. So again, stay tuned for that. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to be notified whenever I go live or whenever a new video goes up. But until then, I am Vengeance, I am Darkness, I am Blackwing. Stay golden.